Israel is getting more and more ruthless in razing every inch of land in Gaza, and there is no denying that we need to see the connection with one big agenda in the end of this age by the Zionist Jewish faction. Zionist Jews aspire to take over the first Qibla of Muslims, namely the Al-Aqsa Mosque, by demolishing it to build the third temple of the Jews there. In the words of the founder of the illegal state of Israel, Ben-Gurion, and repeated by Prime Minister Menachem Begin, there is no value of Israel without Jewish control of Al-Quds, the holy city of Baitul Maqdis, and there is no value of this Al-Quds without the temple. Israel fully intends the area of Al-Quds, or Baitul Maqdis, where the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock are located, to build the third Jewish temple. Now, to realize the construction of the third temple, Zionist Jews will perform their perverted religious rituals using oxen or red heifers for the purpose of purifying the temple site and their filth. So in this video, we will see about the Zionist Jews' plan to destroy the Muslim holy places to be replaced by their temple construction. For Jewish extremists, the area of Al-Quds, or Baitul Maqdis, is the most dreamed of by them, despite the fact that Jewish Zionists have seized almost the entire land of the Palestinian people. In addition to being a religious holy city, it was also once the center of government of the kingdom of King or Prophet David and King Solomon, which was the government of the children of Israel, and there was also the construction of the Jewish temple known as Solomon's Temple. However, historians and archaeologists, consisting of Jews themselves, claim not to have found any evidence of construction under the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The Israeli newspaper, the Haaretz, also wrote a headline that no Jewish temple ruins remain in the area. Jews refer to the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound as the Temple Mount, which is the site of the first and second Jewish temples. Excavations and construction of tunnels under the Al-Aqsa Mosque area have been carried out intensively in the early 20th century. And this Jewish heretical belief about the Temple of Solomon is never mentioned in the Torah, but is a fictional story that is inserted in the first book of Judaism, Book of Genesis, in the Bible. Israel is also making propaganda to deceive the world for support by publishing videos that expose the facts of Israeli extremist leaders on television, that Baitul Maqdis is a historical area that has belonged to them for thousands of years. Israeli Zionist leaders, including Netanyahu, also often mention building the third temple in the area of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which will be demolished. On May 21st, 2023, Israel barbarically held a cabinet meeting inside the excavated tunnel. Construction of the Jewish Third Temple. Since 1967, plans to build the Third Temple were made by an extreme and violent Jewish group, the Temple Movement, in the hope that it would become a reality in the 21st century. Most Jews living in Israel today are diasporic from Europe and secular, while there are Orthodox Jews who still believe that today's modern Israelis, or Zionists, are unfit to take up the task of building the third temple for the Jewish people. The 10th meeting of the Zionist elites was held in the Israeli parliament in November 2016, and the Israeli leaders and people have been talking about completely seizing Al-Aqsa Mosque. The meeting also established the extreme religious lobby group Temple Mount Lobby in the Israeli parliament. This group, accompanied by Jewish or ultra-Orthodox extremists with the strong support of the Israeli government, has the ultimate objective of building the third temple on the site of the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock. Completely seizing the Al-Aqsa area is part of the effort to form the Greater Israel. Christians and Jews call this area the Temple Mount, which sits atop the Mount of Moriah. They believe every prophet of Israel predicted that a new temple would be rebuilt since the second temple was destroyed 2,000 years ago. With the existence of the third temple as a place of worship throughout the world, and since a long time the Jewish people are arrogant, assuming they were chosen by God to fulfill their duties as leaders until the end of time. For them, Al-Aqsa also belongs to the Jews. Even God created the world to be owned by the holy Jewish nation. The momentum to seize Al-Aqsa completely for the construction of the third temple is growing under the fascist and racist administration of Prime Minister Netanyahu. Two religious extremists, Bezalel Smotrich and Itamar Ben-Gvir, were made government ministers. Itamar has entered the Al-Aqsa compound 3 times in 2023, bringing Jewish rabbis and thousands of illegal Israeli residents to provoke Muslims. The third temple is expected to be built on an area of 14.4 hectares, and after this, it is likely that all the equipment needed for construction will be moved to the compound of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Red heifers for purification rituals. What do red heifers have to do with Zionist Jewish ideals today? Perhaps some individuals find it hard to believe that oxen are the determinants of the future for Zionist Jews. During the 100th day of Israel's attack on Gaza, the spokesman of the Al-Qassam Brigade, Abu Ubaidah, had also mentioned about the red heifer, which is an error in the Jewish religion, to continue the violence against Muslims. The red ox is also a sign for the day of termination for Judaism and Christianity. Once the third temple is built, the Jews will await the coming of the Messiah to be appointed as their leader and one world. The Temple Institute, which has long been responsible for the construction of the third temple, proclaims a red calf will be used to restore Jewish purity and glory in the eyes of the world. The Temple Institute is also active in spreading information and conducting fundraising in order to gain worldwide Jewish support for their plans, including ethnic cleansing in Palestine. In September 2018, a female red heifer was born in Israel for the first time in 2,000 years. Later, 5 red calves with perfect characteristics were also flown from Texas, USA, to Israel in September 2022. The arrival of this red heifer was thought to restore the sanctity of Judaism to the world as they had envisioned. Several characteristics are required for the perfect red heifer for the purification ceremony, such as its coat must be completely red in color, never mixed with other oxen's bodies, no defects, never pregnant, and within 3 years of age. 5 red oxen from Texas have been selected for the purification process, which is planned to take place between April-June 2024 on the Mount of Olives, located opposite the Al-Aqsa Mosque area. The ritual will involve burning the oxen to ashes, and the ashes will be mixed with water to be used to purify the rabbis and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Thousands of liters of water will be mixed with the ashes of the red heifer and will be stored until the purification process for the construction of the shrine is carried out. The altar or place for sacrifices for religious ceremonies is also reported to have been built by the Jews, indicating preparations are underway. The altar will continue to be connected to a bridge which will be built from the Mount of Olives to the site of the temple, namely the Al-Aqsa Mosque area. In conclusion, this Zionist Jewish plan is based on real misguidance and their arrogance to continue to achieve their goal of controlling not only the state of Palestine, but the entire world. The position of the Muslim holy place in Beit al-Maqdis is now in a precarious situation and is only defended by the courage of the Palestinian people. Zionist Jews are persistent in their plans and are willing to do anything for their third temple.